Hello friends, I am Dr. P. K. Paul. Welcome to my channel. Let's think about life differently and change it. So friends, the book I will read today is called The Magic of Thinking Big. Before starting today's video, I inform you that the link of other chapters of this book will be given at description. You can view them from there. So let's begin. How to turn defeat into victory. Philanthropists and others working on Skid Row have noted the diversity of age, religion, education, and background among those in need across the United States. Some of them are surprisingly young, and many are old. Some are college graduates, some have no formal education. Some are married or chirkuma. But one thing stands out among the residents of Skid Row. They're all losers, all lost to circumstance. Everyone is eager to tell you the Waterloo of his personal life, the story of his defeat. It includes various experiences, such as, my wife has left me, I have lost everything, I have no shelter, today I am outcast for some work, so I have taken refuge here. From Skid Row this time if the general middle class Mr. And look at the world of Mrs. American, the difference in their lifestyles is clearly visible. However, again we see Mr. The middle class sounds like a resident of Skid Row, showing his reasons for living a very ordinary middle class life. Mr. Here too, the middle class is defeated. The wounds of the situation that lost him have not yet healed, now he. Be very careful. He steps cautiously, hesitant to enjoy the euphoria of victory, unhappy with himself. Defeated, he accepts his middle-class lifestyle as a irony of fate. He too has succumbed to defeat but has done so relatively cleanly, with social acceptance. Even if you look closely at the rare world of success, you will see people of various backgrounds, corporate executives, ministers, government officials, leading officials in all fields, but in the pages of their life history, you will find poverty, family separation, fragmented farming land, slums. Those who hold leading positions in various branches of society today also have to face dire situations. A comparison will show that age, intelligence, background, nationality, whatever Skid Row, Mr. Middle class and Mr. Successful peers, there is only one exception. One thing they all differ from each other is their reaction to the harsh conditions of defeat. Mr. Skid Row fell after being hit and was unable to pull himself up. It was lying there, lying scattered. Mr. The middle class was hurt but could not stand, crawled away. When he reached safety, he ran so fast that he was not seen for a second time at the three borders of the potential area of injury. But Mr. The response to success was quite different. Despite being hurt, he stands up, learns, forgets defeat, and moves forward. A close friend of mine is a successful management consultant by profession. I felt like a king when I entered his office. Perfectly beautiful furniture, carpets, busy people, special customers, it is clear that his company is on the way to success. A cynic might say, such an act is only possible for a blind man. But this idea is completely wrong. It is not necessary for a person to be smart, to be successful. It is only necessary, I use the word with hesitation, to be a stubborn person, never feel defeated. Behind that rich and respected organization was the story of a man's struggle, his struggle to move forward, losing 10 years of savings in the first 6 months of starting a business, spending nights sleeping in the office space for months due to lack of rent, several top job offers cancelled because he wanted to implement his idea, receiving 100 times more rejections than positive responses from potential users of his service. For 7 years he has toiled excruciatingly for success, but I have never heard a complaint from him. He always said, Dave, I'm learning. The competition in this business is so high, and because it's untouchable, it's hard to sell. But I'm also learning to sell. And indeed he learned. Once I asked a friend that the whole experience must be his. Annoyed, he replied, no, there is no loss, but the profit is increasing in my savings account. If you study the lives of America's legendary figures, you will see that all those who achieved enormous success had to face difficult situations in life. Everyone on the list of successful people has had to face obstacles, disappointments, losses, personal grief and anger. Read the biographies and autobiographies of great men and noble women, all of them could have surrendered to repeated obstacles. Or do it. Find out what was the background of the president of your company, the mayor of your city, or any truly successful person in your opinion. If you look carefully, you will see that each of them had to overcome huge and real obstacles. It is impossible to achieve high level of success without opposition, hardship and defeat. But by weaponizing these hurts and defeats, you can move forward. I'm telling you how. I recently came across some commercial airline statistics. One fatality occurs every 10 billion miles flown. Air travel is very safe these days. Nevertheless, unfortunately, accidents happen. When something like that happens, the Aeronautics Administration rushes in and investigates the cause of the disaster. Scattered pieces of metal within a radius of several miles are collected. Some experts try to represent the phenomenon. Witnesses and survivors are asked the question, what caused the accident? It would take weeks, even months, until he got the right answer. Is searched. After receiving the CAA's reply, appropriate measures are taken to prevent recurrence of the accident. If the accident is due to a structural fault, suitable modifications are made to the rest of the aircraft of this type. Or if a mistake is found in a mantrapati, it is corrected. There are literally hundreds of safety devices built into modern airplanes because of the car's investigation. CAA conducts studies on errors to make air travel safe and secure. Naturally, their efforts yield good results. As the body health deteriorates, doctors look for ways to live a healthier, longer life. If the patient dies due to unknown cause, the doctor conducts an autopsy to find the cause. In this way they can learn about the workings of the human body and save the lives of others. A sales executive friend of mine, when his salesman failed to make an urgent sale in a month, only finds the reasons in one meeting a month to find out why they failed. A thorough examination is conducted to determine the cause of loss in sales. Thus, the salesman is protected from similar losses in the future. If the football coach wins more and loses less, he always discusses the details of each game with everyone in the team to find mistakes. Some coaches prepare film of every game so that mistakes can be clearly seen. The goal is to make the next game better. CAA workers, successful sales executives, doctors, football coaches and professionals all follow the success principle, take something back from every defeat. As soon as we get some kind of personal injury, we become so emotionally disturbed that nothing is learned. College professors know that a student's reaction to a failing test can predict his or her chances of success. A few years ago when I was a professor at Wayne State University in Detroit, I was forced to fail a student. The student it hurt a lot. In the meantime, he plans to graduate. Had done, so it's a shame to let it all go down like this. Got up, he had two options. Next time, retake the exam and get a bachelor's degree, or drop out. I expected the boy to be disappointed, maybe even angry, knowing his failure. I thought rightly. I explained to him that he hadn't studied enough to pass, and he admitted that he hadn't studied the course by heart. But, he said, my previous records are good. Won't you consider them? I explained to him that it is not possible because we give marks separately on a course-by-course basis. Moreover, the professor himself did not commit any wrongdoing. After honestly admitting it, only then grades according to the strict rules of education can be changed. When the student realized that nothing could change the grade, Reggae angrily said, Professor, I can name at least 50 very successful people in this city who have not taken this course. Many have not even heard of this course. Why is this course so important? Fortunately, he added, the outside world doesn't think like your professors. I was silent for about 45 seconds after listening to the boy. I know that staying silent for a while when a fight starts is the best way to prevent it. Then I said to my student friend, what you are saying is probably true. There are many successful people who know nothing about this course. And one can be successful without learning the science. The course may not be useful in the overall scheme of life, but the attitude you take towards the course is bound to affect the rest of your life. What do you mean? Said the boy. It's just that, in the outside world, like us, marks are given or graded. It's very important to work fairly there, as here, if the work is not of the best quality, the outside world won't promote you or raise your salary. I gave time to understand it well. I kept quiet for a while. Then I said, will you listen to a suggestion? Now your mind, not in a good mood. I understand your state of mind. And it's normal that you are obsessed with me. But look at the bright side of this experience. An important lesson is this. You cannot be successful in life if you do not work with your mind. If you learn it, 5 years from now, you'll realize it was the most rewarding lesson you've ever spent here. A few days later I was happy to know that the student was readmitted to the course. This time he passed with very good marks. Later called me specifically to say that we had benefited greatly from our earlier discussion. One thing I learned after failing your course the first time, she said, you may find it strange, Professor, but I think it's good that I didn't fail. Defeat can be turned into victory. Apply what you learn in your life, you will laugh at past mistakes. Movie lovers have never known the great actor Mr. Can't forget Lionel Barrymore. In 1936 he broke his hip bone which never healed. Many thought Mr. Barrymore's future is bleak. But Mr. Barrymore didn't think so. This injury helped him reach more heights in acting. Over the next year, he played dozens of successful roles in a wheelchair despite constant and excruciating pain. On March 15, 1945, Mr. W. Colvin Williams was walking behind a tank in France. A mine exploded causing the tank to fly and Mr. William went blind forever. However, Mr. Williams' ambition to become a minister and advisor could not remain unfulfilled. While passing college with honors, William said that blindness will be an asset in my life. Since I cannot judge people by their appearance, I will give them a second chance. Blindness will free me from the unfair crime of judging people by their appearance. I want to be the kind of person everyone is safe to come to. By feeling, it can express itself. This is a strange example of turning a bitter, brutal defeat into a victory, isn't it? Defeat is just a state of mind, nothing else. A friend of mine is an established and successful investor in the stock market. He always takes investment decisions based on his past experience. Once told me, When I first started investing 15 years ago, I got hit a few times. Like most non-professionals, I wanted to get big fast. So I got hit fast. But I didn't go broke. I knew the fundamentals of economics. I also knew investing in well-chosen stocks over a long period of time will definitely pay off. So early on I thought these bad investments were worth my education, he said with a laugh. On the other hand, I have known people who became adamantly anti-stock after a couple of ill-advised investments. Instead of analyzing the mistakes and getting to work, they develop a misconception that investing in common stocks is like gambling, where everyone loses in the end. Decide to salvage something from each defeat. From then on, if there is any mistake or noise at work or at home, cool your head and find the reason. Doing so will not repeat the same mistakes. If you can learn, there is benefit in losing. We humans are very different creatures. We are quick to take credit for the win, and want to tell the world as soon as we win. We all want others to look at us and comment, "That guy who's going, he's got credit." But when we lose, we put the blame on others. The salesman blames the customer if the product is not sold. Executives tend to blame employees and other executives when things go wrong at work. A husband blames his wife for the problem of family quarrels. It is true that in today's complicated world, others may kill us. But it is also undeniable that we can't handle ourselves many times, we throw ourselves away. We lose because of personal incompetence or mistakes. Prepare yourself for success like this. Remind yourself that you strive to be as perfect as it is humanly possible to be. Be realistic. Close yourself in a glass tube and analyze yourself as an impartial third party. Find out if you have any errors that have never been noticed before. Such a mistake. Correct it if found. Most people become so accustomed to their character that they do not find ways to improve. Rhys Stevens, the legendary star of the Metropolitan Opera, told Reader's Digest, in July 1955, that she received the best advice during the saddest moments of her life. Early in her career, Miss Stevens was disappointed not to receive an award at the Metropolitan Opera's auditions of the year. She said, "I was hoping to hear my voice better than the other girls, hoping that everyone would say that the decision was unfair, that it was because I was not close to the authorities." But Miss Stevens' teacher did not comfort her that way. Instead, he told Miss Stevens, "Have the honest courage to admit the truth." Whenever I suffered from depression, Miss Stevens said, those words came to mind over and over again. Those words woke me up that night. It became impossible for me to sleep without admitting my mistake. Lying in the dark, I was thinking, why did I lose? How can I win next time? I admitted to myself that my voice should be better. I need to master the language. I need to learn more things. Miss Stevens told how she had succeeded on the stage by correcting mistakes, how her circle of friends had widened, she had become a more attractive figure. Self-analysis is a constructive task. You are successful in this. Learn to gain the personal power and efficiency necessary for blaming others as a destructive attitude. Nothing is gained by proving others wrong. Analyze yourself constructively. Don't run away from disabilities. Become like a true professional. They find and correct their mistakes and weaknesses. So they become professionals and experts. But don't always guilt yourself into saying, "That's why I lose," to prove yourself a loser. Instead, think of your mistakes as another way to improve, to be more successful. The great Albert Hubbard once said, "He who makes mistakes and does not learn from them fails in life." Often we blame fate for failure. Say, That's how the ball bounces back, and accept luck. Think about why the ball doesn't bounce back one way. 3 things affect bounce: the ball, the way it's thrown, and where the ball hits. Obvious physics. According to the rules, the ball goes straight, luck has no role in it. Suppose if the CAA had said in their report, "Sorry, we apologize for the accident, but this is luck, this is how the ball falls." After hearing this, you must say that new CA is needed. Or, imagine the doctor telling the patient's relative, "I'm so sorry, what? Can't say what else is a game of fortune. If you or a relative is sick, you must take him to another doctor." That's the way it goes, or that's how fate is. Nothing can be achieved without attitude. The next time the hare is faced with a similar situation, there is a possibility of repeating the mistake, but there will be no way to eliminate it. If a football coach tells his team after losing a Saturday game, "That's luck, that's how the ball goes," he's not going to help the team prevent the same mistake from happening the following Saturday. Orville Hubbard was the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan for 17 years. He was the most brilliant and respected officer of the civil administration of the country. For 10 long years before becoming mayor of Dearborn, Mr. Hubbard could have retired from politics, citing bad luck. Orville Hubbard proved thrice unlucky in his mayoral bids before becoming a near-perpetual winner. He unsuccessfully attempted to be elected to the state senate 3 times, once losing a race for the congressional nomination. But Orville Hubbard studied those defeats well. According to him, they were lessons in politics. Now he is a very shrewd, almost unbeatable political leader in local government. Thoroughly considers mistakes without blaming fate. See, learn when you lose. Many seek explanations for their middle class lives in the excuses of bad luck, unlucky, unlucky. They are like naive children who only seek sympathy. They don't recognize opportunities to be agile, more self-reliant, so miss those opportunities. Don't blame fate. No one could fulfill his purpose by blaming fate. A literary scholar, mentor, writer and critic friend of mine recently discussed with me what it takes to be a successful writer. Many would-be writers, he said, don't care about writing at all. Gives up after a little effort when he sees that there is a lot of work to be done. I lose patience working with them because they always look for shortcuts. There are no shortcuts on this path. Of course, I am not saying that persistence alone is enough. He said, persistence alone is often not enough. The guy I'm working with these days has written 62 short stories, but not one has sold. He's obviously very passionate about being a writer, he's got persistence. But the problem with this gentleman is that he follows the same approach to everything he writes. He creates a rigid pattern of stories. I don't make any research changes to my client's writing style, such as story drafts and characters. I ask to adopt a new strategy. He has the ability to write a new kind of test. I swear he will succeed. But until he changes, he will only get rejection. The suggestion of Sahitya Adveshta sir is good. Perseverance is very important, but perseverance alone is not enough to win. We will try and fail again and again until we learn to do something new. That is, it is important to persevere and try new things. Edison was one of America's most stubborn scientists. He did thousands of researches before he invented the electric bulb. But note, Edison did many experiments in research. His tireless work was behind the invention of the light bulb. He succeeded by diligently adopting innovative methods of research. Similarly, hard work does not guarantee success. Again, experimentation and hard work are the sure result of success. I recently read an article about the endless exploration of oil. It states that before drilling an oil well, the oil company carefully observes the formation of the rock. Despite that, that is, even after that scientific analysis, oil may not be found in 7 out of 8 wells. Oil companies, however, continued to search for oil. Not only is drilling incredibly deep wells, but testing new wells when they find that the first well won't produce oil. Many ambitious people have an admirable amount of perseverance and ambition, but fail because they do not try new things. Set your goals. Don't back down from there. But don't stick to the same place and try something new. Those who persevere, who do not give up easily, have a remarkable capacity for success. 2 tips for developing the ability to experiment and try again and again are sure to pay off with new effort and persistence. 1. Tell yourself, there must be a way. All thoughts have a magnetic effect. If you tell yourself that, I'm a loser, there's no way around this problem, pessimistic thoughts are immediately indulged. All these thoughts convince you that you are a loser. So believe, there must be some way to solve this problem, and you'll see creative ideas emerge for solutions. The saying, if there is a will, there is a way, is important, trust it. Unless one and, if possible, both parties are confident that happiness and peace will be restored when problems arise in the marriage, the counselor will not be successful in preventing divorce. Psychologists and social workers say that until the alcoholic believes that he can completely give up his addiction to alcohol, until then, he cannot be freed from that addiction. Thousands of new businesses will be started this year. After 5 years, only a few of these will survive. Many of those who fail will say, great competition, no choice but to escape. The real problem is, when most people face obstacles, they only think about defeat, so they lose. If you believe with all your heart that there must be a way, you transform the no, give up, let's go, mindset into the constructive yes, let's try, move on, mindset. A problem becomes intractable only when it is thought to have no solution. Believe me, solutions are possible. Do not believe that the solution is impossible. 2. Step back and try again with renewed enthusiasm. Often we become so closely involved with the problem that new solutions or paths are not in sight. Recently, an engineer friend was invited a few weeks ago to build a completely new aluminum building, something that had never been built or designed before. Having met him a few days ago, I asked him how the work of his new building was going. Not so good, he said, I guess I haven't spent much time in the garden this summer. To think more about difficult design problems, I have to step away from the problem and think anew. You'd be surprised, he said, how many new engineering ideas come to me while I'm standing in the garden watering the trees. President Eisenhower was once asked at a press conference why he took so many weekends off. His answer is applicable to anyone who wants to increase their productivity. Mr. Eisenhower said, I don't think any man, whether he's the director of General Motors or the United States, can become a very good director sitting at his desk with his face buried in a pile of papers, thinking about the president's basic policies and issues without getting bogged down in unnecessary details. Need to make clear and sound decisions. Once a month, my ex-business partner regularly takes a 72-hour out-of-town vacation. According to him, stepping away from work and returning to it increases his performance, making him more available to clients. Don't abandon the whole project when you get stuck, instead take a step away to stimulate your mind. Do something simple, like listening to music, going for a walk or taking a nap. When you sit down with the previous work, you will see that you have found the solution. If you look for the light of hope in difficult situations, you will be pampered. A young man told me how he saw the bright side after losing his job. She said, "At the time I was working for a large credit reporting company. One day I suddenly got a notice to quit my job. Was handed over. When the market is depressed, employees who are less important to the company are being laid off. Although the pay wasn't very good at the job, it wasn't bad as I grew up. I lost my job and was devastated for a few hours. Then I thought it was a blessing in disguise. To be honest, I didn't like the job that much. I couldn't get far in the job. Now I got the chance to do my favorite job. Soon I got the job I wanted with a bigger salary. Getting fired from that credit company was the best experience of my life." Remember, in any situation what you want to see will be visible. Look on the bright side, defeat the defeat. Learning to see clearly will see the good side of everything. Quick review. Obstacles, disabilities, discouragements and other discouraging circumstances separate success and failure. 5 tips to turn failure into success. 1. Study your mistakes to find the path to success. When you lose, learn from that experience so you can win next time. 2. Have the honest courage to criticize yourself constructively. Find and correct your own mistakes. It will make you professional. 3. Don't blame fate. Thoroughly examine each defeat. Find out where things went wrong. Remember, one cannot reach the greater goals of life by blaming fate. 4. Not only persevere, but also experiment anew. Be persistent in the goal, but there is no point in digging your head in the same rock. Try something new, try something new. 5. Remember, there is a good side to every situation. Find it. Look on the bright side, don't give in to depression and despair in any way.